Shall we begin? Let's begin.
Let's get this thing in the water. Hello, and welcome to On the Patio with Mr. D. Hey, we've got a whole slew of product reviews and kayaking tips and tricks and photography uses on a kayak, and especially on an inflatable kayak. We're going to be reviewing all these different products and these different kayaks and where to go and what to do and how to play with them and all that kind of stuff like that. So, hey, we're going to get started here shortly, but before you do, please, if you like our videos, subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. So, hey, we'll be back in just a bit.
Let's begin.
Hello, and welcome to On the Patio with Mr. D. Today, I've ended my search and ended my dilemma for audio work when I'm doing narration on a kayak or interviews or doing an outside video or whatever the case may be, without having to mount a honking shotgun microphone on the camera. One of the things I wanted to do was be able to walk away from the camera and still maintain quality audio. Well, there's an easy way to do that. It's called a digital recorder with a lapel mic system. But that wasn't the easy part. Finding a good microphone at a reasonable cost was a real challenge. Now, I bought one, and you'll see in the field test where I show you the example of when I turned my head left or right, the audio would drop. So it wasn't truly omnidirectional. So the search continued until I came across the Sony ECM-CS3 stereo microphone. Now, there's a lot of good things about this. I really can't find any bad things about this. One of the things I do like about it, you can twist a microphone up or down the way you want to do it. Now, I go this way because when I'm kayaking, doing my narrations for Paddling Places, Florida, I'm turning my head while I talk and pointing out different areas, maybe some wildlife or maybe some other issues that I'm running into on the paddle itself. And having a large shotgun mic on the kayak doesn't make a lot of sense. And using the digital recorder system with the lapel mic system gives me the freedom to do what I want, when I want, even if I'm out of the kayak and the cameras are still running, I can walk away and the audio quality stays the same. So like I said, I had a previous omnidirectional microphone that did not make the cut. So anyway, I came across the Sony microphone, and we're looking at $20 for this mic, and I was absolutely blown away with the audio quality of this mic. What we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and get off the professional mic system that I have on right now, and I'm going to finish up this video using the Sony microphone and the digital recorder. Now, the only drawback with this process is you have to sync your audio with your video, but it's really not that big a deal. I use a system where I do a countdown from 3, 2, 1, and I clap my hands. That gives a big spike in the audio on the camera, and regardless of what camera you're using, you could be using a GoPro, you could be using a DSLR, mirrorless camera, it doesn't matter. As long as it's picking up your audio, when you do that hand clap, you'll get a huge spike. And that's the one you line up when you're syncing up your audio and make everything work right. So, hey, we're going to shut down for right now, and we're going to hook up the Sony ECM-CS3 microphone and finish up this part of the review before we go out and do the field test using that microphone. Okay. So I've got this all hooked up now using the ECM-CS3 Sony stereo microphone, and it's hooked up into the Sony PX-470 Digital Recorder. And this is what I use now out on my kayaks, because I have found out that I don't have to worry about positioning of the audio and where I'm at and all this kind of thing. I just stick that thing in my PFD, personal flotation device, or in my pocket, whatever the case may be, and I can continue with my narration the whole time. So it really works well, and I want you to hear the quality of this stuff. Now we're going to be going out here in just a couple minutes, going out doing a field test out at Lake Apopka. There's a really cool place called Lake Apopka Wildlife Drive. It's 11 miles, takes about 3 hours to do this thing, but man, there's just wildlife everywhere. So hopefully we can see some stuff. I'm going to take my big lens camera and stuff like that, and kind of test the audio on this and see how it does. Hey, so we'll be back after the field test to wrap this thing up. We're out doing the field test today on the Sony ECM-CS3 lapel stereo microphone. One of the problems I had with my previous microphones, which was supposedly omnidirectional, if I mounted it a little bit to the left or right of my shirt, and when I turned my head, the audio would drop. And a long seat attachment, and this is great because on my Sport, I like to keep the seat from folding down when I carry it. And that was really frustrating because in post-production, I'd have to cut that section to equalize the volume. And it was kind of a real pain. So I had to try to figure out, okay, what can I use on my digital recorder that will allow me to turn my head left or right and get the quality of audio where there's really no difference. One of the other features I really like about using a digital recorder with a lapel microphone is I can walk away and keep talking and all that kind of stuff, and just kind of do my narration, and it really doesn't matter how far I am away from having the conventional system of having the microphone set up on top of your camera. You would lose audio this far back, and I'm probably 35, 40, 50 feet. So as one of the things I wanted to do is to enable me to have balanced audio regardless of where I am, especially when I'm out on the kayaks and stuff like that. I'm always turning my head left or right or doing the paddling work and stuff like that. And then using the PX-470 Digital Recorder allows me to set the sensitivity of this microphone to where it doesn't pick up a lot of outside noise, and which really helps a lot. What I'm doing today is I'm out here at Lake Apopka trying to get some birding done, but it is so quiet. And normally this place is bustling with all kinds of wildlife. And it's not right now, and I think that's because of the Hurricane Florence up in the Carolinas, which is not that far from here. And I can see the cloud bands here, and we're getting some of the lower bands of the hurricane are actually flowing in right now. And it's clouding up pretty fast, and there was absolutely no rain in the forecast today, but I think they got that wrong. But again, back to testing this microphone, what another unique feature is that you don't have to really talk loud. One of the things I had done before with the standard lapel microphone is I had to talk really loud, and with this microphone I really don't have to. What I'm doing today is kind of checking out wind noise and any other kind of things while I'm doing the stuff that I want to do, like photography work or videography work, or I'm in the kayak or wherever I'm at like that. So in this test I want to make sure that the audio is pristine. So that'll kind of wrap up the field test out here. We'll check all the audio once I get back to the patio, and we'll wrap this thing up. Hey, we're back from the field test. We went out to Lake Apopka and did our thing out there, had a lot of fun. And one of the tests I did out there was to do a walkaway, which I would really never do, only to maybe 20 feet using a shotgun mic, which I have. This one I walked out about 50, 75 feet, and the audio quality didn't change at all because you're pumping it directly from a lapel microphone into a digital recorder, which is right there on you, so you're not going to lose any audio quality at all. So I was really impressed with that. One of the things I did notice out there is if wind kicks up, you're going to need a dead cat. Now, if you listen carefully, there was just a little tiny bit of wind out there, and I didn't have a dead cat. I now have dead cats that I can put on each end of this microphone, and I'm going to finish up doing this mic test with the dead cats mounted. So hey, we'll be back in just a little bit and then we'll finish this up. Okay, so hey, I got the dead cats installed on both ends of the stereo microphone. Now, I'm hitting myself all along the microphone cord, and there's no static, there's no noise, there's nothing. So I was looking around to try to find some dead cats that would fit on this microphone. And I will only use this if the wind's blowing or if I'm on the kayak, because the wind's always blowing out there. But if you're doing like a static thing, you really don't need these. But I just want to make sure that I give you all the information. So add the dead cat. What I'm going to do is a real quick test. And it won't be on video, but you'll hear it. I'm going to walk out. The wind's blowing pretty good out in my backyard. I'm going to walk out and stand in this wind and see what it does. Okay, I'm standing in the wind, and it's blowing pretty good. And I don't know if this is going to muffle any of this wind noise or not. But I'm going to go ahead and get back on the patio here and finish this thing up. But if the dead cats work, hey, then this is the way to go. Now, some people have told me on the reviews of these that they have a tendency to fall off. They have about a 1/4 inch diameter mounting hole, and it is a Best Shoot MW1, and it's a 5-pack. So you get 5 of these bad boys. Now, I don't know if it's going to fall off or not, and if you could put some thin, that real thin 2-sided tape on the mic, that might work for you if you have a tendency for them to fall off, or if you want to permanently mount them onto the microphone, then you could stitch across both of them and lock them into place. Me, I want to leave them portable so I can pull them off and on, put them in my kit depending on the conditions that I'm doing my recording from. Okay, so let's wrap this thing up. This ECM-CS3 microphone from Sony is a left channel, right channel, dual microphone, omnidirectional, they claim, stereo microphone that really does a great job. One of the features I like about it, it has an L 3M connector for the stereo port on your digital recorder. So that means if you have a case like this, it's not a straight up post, you're able, let me get this around here, to close that lid and still keep the microphone connected. So that's a great thing. But having all those cool features means nothing unless you're getting excellent audio. And in this particular case, the audio in this is exactly what I was looking for. You can range your voice levels up, down, whatever the case may be. This thing doesn't miss a beat. I am really pleased with this microphone. All my other omnidirectional lapel mics that I used in the field before, I'm not going to use them anymore. I'm going to only use the Sony ECM-CS3 microphone. And hey, check it out for yourself. You make the decision. You've heard the audio quality here. You heard the field test. We'll see you on the next one. We'll see you on the next one.